Welcome to my examination of Shams Tabrizi's Discourses, Maqalat. In this video, we're going to be examining Discourse 1. In this Maqalat, Shams is talking about mystical epistemology. He starts with kind of a subtle criticism of those who say, I sacrifice my soul to God and there I reach everything. It is true in mystical terminology, in mystical language. Even Rumi says that I'm ready to sacrifice myself. Whether that's a pretension or something real, put it on the one side, and on the other, there is something more that you need to do. And Shams is going to be teaching us what that more is. Shams says, if you bypass your body, you reach your soul. That soul is created, literally hadith, that is coming into being. So created is not a very accurate word. It's more of a theological term. In mysticism, Sufism, especially with Ibn Arabi, we come across the word hadith, coming into being. There is this emphasis on that process, that continuation. Because in theology, we say God created the world, but in mysticism, we say, what do we mean by created? In Sufism, and especially again with Ibn Arabi, you have a Neoplatonic vision, and by vision I mean perspective, that there is the one, and from the one that is already existent, he is absolute existence in the essence. He literally gives existence to the lower realms. He gives existence to the intellect. He gives existence to the soul, to the bodies, through a process. So let's understand what Shams is saying here. Even his word choice is very accurate. So if you bypass the body, you reach the soul, which is hadith, which is coming into being, he says. But he adds, the real, that is God, is eternal. He's qadim. I mean, he means that there hasn't been a time that the real was not, and then he was. He always was. And when we are using always and was, we are using it because of the limitations of the language. Like, we are putting all this discussion into a temporal limitation. To simplify, we're using it just to simplify things. So, to simplify, God always was. There was not a time that he was not, says Shams. So what we're going to say, he's going to be adding, even if you sacrifice your so-called soul to God, do not get carried away. It's not that you're doing something special. Your soul comes from him. So you're basically giving him back, offering him back what he has already given you. So you're not doing something special. Don't be so proud of that. When you are sacrificing your soul to God, you're not sacrificing something that is really your own. This is a borrowed existence. Then he has this very amusing poem, implicitly critical poem. عاشقانت بر تو تحفه اگر جان آرند به سر تو که همه زیر به کرمان آرند. He's talking to God, saying, if your lovers bring to you as a token their soul, it's only something that you already have. They are bringing that grain to Kerman. This is an expression in Farsi. Zire is, think of it as grain, not important what grain. And its center was Kerman, Iran. So it has become kind of an expression as if, like, when you're in another city and when you want to go to Kerman, you take that grain and you take it as a souvenir. That is pointless because that source was already Kerman. Why would you take it to Kerman from another city with lower quality? Shams is playing with that. He said, even if we take our soul, our spirit, and grant it to God, don't think that you have done something special. It's like taking zireh to Kerman. It's like taking as a token where the soul comes from. So what, we're going to ask. And Shams's answer is unbelievable. He says, او بی‌نیاز است تو نیاز ببر که بی‌نیاز نیاز را دوست دارد. The real is needless. You go to him in need and with need. The needless loves the needy. Literally, the needless loves the need. So go to him with that. Don't go arrogantly. The assumption is, don't say like, oh God, I have given you such and such, so accept me. Who are you to offer such and such? He has given you that such and such, but that your soul, says Shams implicitly. Go to him, not in arrogance, but in absolute need. I'm coming to you because I depend on you in everything. I'm contingent. Even my existence is not from my own. I have a borrowed existence. The source of my existence is you. My existence depends on your existence. My existence is not real in technical Sufi terms. Only you are the absolute existence. I am but a manifestation of that existence, that delimited absolute existence. This is limited existence. If you go to him in need, through that need, showing that need, you jump from this body and through your soul. Then he says, from the eternal, something eternal comes to you. What is that eternal thing? It's love, says Shams. So he says, and I quote, "As an qadim, qadim ra bebini," meaning that through that eternal, through love, you see, you perceive the eternal. Through love, you perceive the real. And then he includes part of this Quranic verse, "Huwa yudrikul absar," Surah Al-An'am, verse 103, that says, "Eyes do not perceive him, but he perceives the eyes." Here, through a very puzzling and not very coherent looking text, he's talking about mystical epistemology. It is not that arrogance of yours, he says. It is not that I have such and such, I offer such and such that you reach God. It is your need with which you reach God. When you do that, love will come to you, and through that love you will perceive God. Here the assumption being that even your mystical talk, even your mystical experience can be a veil if you do not use the right words. And we are not talking in the level of words, because those words are a reflection of what is in your mind, what is in your soul. There should be a radical shift in your mentality. Your existence is not yours to grant to God, says Shams. There's also a beautiful assumption here. It's not that you always start loving God. God initiates that love. You go to him in need, he says, and then love comes to you. As you see, love in this picture does not go from the human to God. You go in need, and love comes from upstairs. What are the implications of Discourse 1 of Shams Tabrizi in our lives today? An important implication, especially today, is rethinking the cult of self-improvement and what self is. Shams is teaching us that even the highest of your being and existence, the highest level, even that soul is coming into being. It's hadith. Don't be so proud of it. Shams says, don't take your mystical achievements, your contemplations, meditations, dhikr, whatever it is that you're doing to connect with your real soul, as real achievement. Spirituality begins not in strength, but in surrender. The second implication is that the relationship between us human beings and God is not transactional. You don't climb to him. You don't do such and such so that he gives you such and such. His love descends to you through your need. Even your desire for God, even your love for God is not in your own hands. It comes from him to you. So it's not an ego-striving achievement. It's absolute need that you should go to him with. The third implication points to love as the veil lifter. It's not your outward piety. It's not our transactional relationship with God, that I do such and such to go to heaven, or I do such and such to avoid hell. Not this transactional relationship, but something that you do out of pure love. Have we reached that state yet? I'm doing this not because it makes me happy. I'm helping others not because it makes me feel good, but because I love him and these are his servants. I am praying. Am I praying because it feels good, or is it that I love him and he loves me? and I'm saying that prayer in that love. The fourth implication relates to sacrifice versus surrender. Shams suggests stop trying to prove or earn yourself spiritually. The posture of true seeker is neediness, not heroism. Although sacrificing your soul sounds noble, but it is not yours to sacrifice. It is not yours to offer. You must receive, not offer. God does not want your soul. He does not need your soul. He wants your poverty. Let's not forget that.